All right, from the surface lot here in beautiful Council Bluffs, Iowa. Today, day 2 of this preview into Keep Track Week. Rake. What do we pay in rake? So, this is actually over two things. I said some of them will be like per hand, some will be per time. This is both, because I think it's interesting to see like how much did we pay in rake per hand. You know, anywhere from $0 to $7 can come out in rake per hand. Like, what's the average per hand? Also, how quickly do we see those hands? Some people want to think about it in terms of like every hour, how much money comes off the table in rake. So I'm going to count how much rake we pay for 50 hands. I'm also going to time it so we can see how much comes off the table every hour. Did this last year, and the numbers on the screen are exact. I think it was like, I don't remember. It was $200 something in the 50 hands. Pretty sure the 50 hands took 96 minutes. So we'll have something to compare it to. Day 5. Day 5 is a very interesting piece of data I just thought to track, although there's nothing to compare it to. Did not do this last year, did not do this 2 years ago, didn't do this year. Playing 2-5 in Vegas would have been great if I thought of it back then. Didn't even do it in 2021 in Oklahoma, where Keep Track Week originally started, even though I didn't have the channel yet. I was posting on Twitter back then. And yeah, so we have this Saturday here in the Horseshoe Council Bluffs, and I'm gonna count how much rake we pay. Actually, very interesting that I have last year's data to compare it to, because last year, max rake per hand was $6. This year, it's $7. If you missed the rake video, link at the top. Rake has changed here at the Horseshoe Council Bluffs. Not just more, necessarily. Plenty of medium-sized pots. Actually, $1 more stays in the pot than is taken out. But on the max rake pots, 7 max instead of 6 max. So, I'm gonna get in there, maybe show you a little walk through the slot machines, and then when it's dark out, I will be somewhere in the surface lot, maybe in the garage, telling you the data. Okay, rake. That's this iteration of the sample Keep Track Week to give you a preview for the newsletter on my Patreon page. Rake. So 8 options, 0 through 7. There could be no rake, there could be $7 max. 8 different options for rake. There's a few charts here. Let me put up just the hands, you know, every single hand. This is how much rake there was. Right there, 50 hands. So those are 5 columns of 10 hands each, hands 1 through 50. That's how much rake there was. If you must know, we were never so short. There was definitely a time like 1 person was gone from the table, probably 2. We were never so short that we were on reduced rake. So we were on, you know, full rake, $7 max every hand if it came to it. So there you go. Those are all 50 hands, and it adds up to $198 in total rake in these 50 hands. I will say, I am not infallible. I forgot to time it. So these are the correct counts on the 50 hands, where I chose, you know, at some point I started counting, 50 hands later I stopped. Forgot the time factor. Don't know how many hours and minutes it took, but whatever, I'm not gonna redo it. So $198 in 50 hands, which comes out to an average of $3.96 per hand. For simplicity and rounding, I'm just gonna say $4. So $4 per hand, which is interesting, because last year, I'll put that number up on the bottom. Last year, when I counted here, I counted in California, Vegas, and here, Council Bluffs. Last year, the number was a lot higher. It was like 256, 265? The number on the bottom of the screen is correct and exact. So it was a lot less. I will say this was a little tame for a Saturday. I guess even though Nebraska was playing a fairly easy opponent, still a lot of people go to the game or watch it at home. Just gonna do that regardless of who they play. I thought the opponent mattered. I think the fact that it was at home mattered more than anything. If it's on the road, you can't go to the game. You can watch it at home, you can watch it in the casino. You gotta watch it on TV. If it's at home, you could go, you know, drive an hour west and go to the game in Lincoln. So it was a home game. I think that's why it was a little quiet, especially for a Saturday with the World Series of Poker circuit in town. But yeah, a lot less rake, I guess, a little bit due to the fact that rake is different, because all those medium pots, link at the top if you missed that rake video, if I didn't already put it up earlier in the video. There are several specific amounts of pot size such that one more dollar stays in the pot than in the old rake system. So that was definitely one factor. Also, just a little on the tame side. Definitely just from like instincts and memory, last Saturday was a wilder time at the poker table. So there's that. But yeah, oh, also put up this chart just to break it down. How many times the rake was each amount? How many times was there $7 rake? How many times was there $6 rake, etc.? So you can see a lot. The leading, not a majority, but a plurality. The leader, even though it's not a majority, was max rake. So that's a good sign for a poker game. Big pots, max rake. So you want to see that happening. $7 rake led the way in the 8 different amounts of rake that could have been taken in each pot. So there you go, counted rake. Some people guess at it. I went into the casino, I played, I counted it, and I showed you the data. So that's gonna rack up, that's gonna wrap up, W-R-A-P, the rake video, and I will see everybody tomorrow. Thanks for watching the video. If you're enjoying this content and want even more poker, Las Vegas, and travel content, feel free to sign up to receive my monthly newsletter via my Patreon page. It's $5 a month. There are 3 ways to sign up. You could either type in the link you've been seeing at the bottom of the screen, or you could go to my YouTube homepage and in the center of the screen, click on the link to my Patreon page, or you could go into any recent video of mine, go into the description box below the video, and click on the link to my Patreon page from there. Once you're on the Patreon page, click on Start Free Trial and follow all the prompts. The first 7 days are free. It's $5 a month after that, and you will receive 1 monthly newsletter about everything poker, Las Vegas, and travel related. If you want to see the first one I created, which is free for everybody, feel free to click the link on the top of the screen or the link to the video that's on the screen in the bottom left-hand corner right now.